What is up YouTube, and welcome to this Nocturne movie video review and ending explained. Now this is part of the Blumhouse on Amazon Prime series, and admittedly I haven't seen all of them yet, but I do intend to. However, this movie is an absolute odd one, as I kind of kept expecting it to, get going, but well, it didn't. It is a very, very slow movie, but there will be spoilers in this video, so please do drop a like down below if you enjoyed it, and do subscribe with notifications on if you want more from us. Now, Nocturne is an odd mix of a great psychological thriller mixed with satanic and religious horror. I mean, it will do while we wait for the next Midsummer or Hereditary, and it's interesting as the name of the movie pertains to the actual topic of the movie, which is of course music. Nocturne itself is a piece of music that is evocative of the night, or supposed to be played in the evening. So we start with a student named Moira playing a piece of music, and well, she's playing it very beautifully in a room down a hall that has some famous composers on it, and then she abruptly jumps out the window, not before writing some really weird symbols in her room, which is absolutely crazy. It's a nice shocking moment that hooks us into the movie, and it's a very Blumhouse thing there. But the story truly starts with what we see as a party, and then we see Juliet, who is one of the main characters in the movie, with her sister Vivian. She's the focal point here of the movie. There's a clear disconnect between the two sisters, with Juliet desperate to get into a prestigious and, well, the best music school, which is Juilliard. However, we learn her sister Vivian actually got a place in the school, even though it's later explained by one of the teachers that while Vivian is a good musician, she's just not as good as Juliet. However, there's a big difference, because Vivian actually plays with a lot of passion, and that's the disconnect between the two. They are just chalk and cheese, with Juliet giving up her entire life to learn music and practice the piano, but Vivian lives a party lifestyle with a boyfriend, but ends up getting with Juliet because there is, teen drama as always. And, well, they go to return to their boarding school just after spring break, and as they return to the school, we learn that Moira, the girl at the start, was the top musician in the school and was the focal point of the school's concerto, but with her place now gone, it is open season, which leads to the conflict between the two sisters. We see little of the other students in the school, and it is a very insular movie, focusing primarily around Juliet, and we don't really see much of really anything else. We see people interact with Juliet, but we see more of her internal struggle. And she actually starts to learn that Moira wrote some weird symbols on the walls before she died, but Juliet finds that the old music book of Moira's with some seriously weird images and notes inside them, and the illustrations include invocation, consummation, and purification. Upon reading this book and taking her sister's advice, she starts to change the piece of music that she starts for the audition, because it's now open season and she learns that there will be Juilliard scouts at this concerto. How true that is, it doesn't matter, because she's so desperate to do it, she takes any chance to live out her life's dream. And this book seemingly has the piece of music that not only she wants to play, but also on notes on how to play the sections that she was having trouble with. Now, over time, these drawings in the book start to become real and change based on her own things that happen in the movie. The issue here is that the last page is torn out. However, it seems to be a guide on how to ascend or become the best piano player that she can be, and it seems over time this is more of an internal struggle. She starts to audition for the concerto and starts playing the same music after watching her sister play it. she has taken too many anxiety tablets, and then she suffers from anxiety, and this starts to be her problem, as while playing this she passes out. She has visions of the same exact room that Moira was in at the start of the movie, and then walks on to see her in the future at the concerto, but she's just received a standing ovation and looks at her own self there, living the dream that she actually wants to be praised with adulation and be the focal point and actually have a successful concerto. But she wakes up to find that it's a dream, and she's sent back to class. Her teacher is furious with this, the fact that she's changed up what she wanted to play. And she's sick of her teacher holding her back, and she baits him into an argument and slaps her, only for him to actually get suspended. Now, she wants the man who teaches her sister as a replacement, but he starts to be indifferent and seems to dislike her and forces her to play the same music that she wanted to change to, and it's clear that she won't actually be in anything. She won't be able to change this, and he's making her stick to the change that she made. But she gets more hallucinations, only to be invited to a party. Now, her sister's boyfriend starts to talk to her, and her sister becomes jealous, leading Juliet to actually push Vivian, leading to her arm to get broken and putting her out of action for 6 months or more. Now, she saw a strange light and started to black out and has no recollection of the event whatsoever. The sketchbook is slowly changing to her own experiences. It's predicting what will happen, but the pills appear in her hand and the light appears around her sister's hair and things like that. So it starts to change based on what happens to her, and she starts to come down further through the rabbit hole as she tries to explain to Max that what is happening, but he believes it's just a self-fulfilling prophecy. She passes out again after taking even more anxiety tablets, and the visions seem to kind of coincide with these tablets being taken more and more as she bangs her head, and she then goes on to sleep with Max after he actually broke up with Vivian herself. However, the person we learn that her sister was cheating on Max with was actually the teacher, which explains so much more in why he knows Vivian and why he kind of said that she plays with passion and why Vivian actually threw the food over him at the dinner there. Now, throughout the course of the movie, Juliet tries to basically become more like her sister and decides to kiss the teacher, who becomes repulsed by everything. However, he says that he's never, or at least she's never going to be like her sister, and the greats of the past, like Mozart, etc., played so young and they hit their peak a lot, or at least reached their potential a lot earlier, and kind of putting her down. Now, the book says she now needs to make a sacrifice like Moira, and she needs to try and jump off and, make the sacrifice to live the life that she wants. And it's a metaphorical sense, it's a leap of faith, and nailing the concerto, she's inhibited by her anxiety and sheltered beliefs of practice makes perfect, not passion. She goes to play, and the anxiety does indeed get to her, like the first concerto she ever had, and that's where this anxiety is probably stemming from. She freezes, and she actually goes off and runs up to the roof of the building, and she smiles as a light comes on, and she lives out her dream. However, what we actually see is that she jumped off of the building, and that she has lived a lie, and she's kind of sacrificed herself. It's a way of getting out of what she wants, but in her head she can live the dream that she wants. And it seems to be that, well, all of this never happened. Everything was her trying to rationalize things, such as when she had her period, she thought she was having a stigmata style thing, etc., and that it's trying to rationalize her bad behavior or rationalize bad things that happened to her by way of thinking that it's predicted in the future or something like that. And she's made it all up and down, and she tries to rationalize why someone like Moira would actually try and destroy her life when she had everything. She had the dream, she was the greatest musician, etc., and it's just her trying to follow in her path, I imagine. But overall, I enjoyed it. It just never seemed to kind of have some steam, but it's an enjoyable flick nonetheless. I'll probably give it a good 7 out of 10 there. But that's it for this video. Please drop a like down below. Please do subscribe with notifications on, and I'll see you soon. Goodbye.